Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think I wanted to make a comment on Senator Sigei's statement. Mr. Speaker, you know this issue of police brutality, police force being misused on citizens, Mr. Speaker, is something that this House must fight. And Mr. Speaker, I was expecting that perhaps in that statement, probably the owner of that statement could have requested that one of the biggest motions that we had in this House at the time that we were faced with the lowest moment of our country, when the Gen Z movement was forced to visit this House to call Parliament to order, senators in this House, through the majority leaders' motion, expressed themselves overwhelmingly on the issues of police brutality, on the issues of police mistreatment, and on the issues that goes with abduction, go with extrajudicial killing. And Mr. Speaker, it's disappointing that many moons after this conversation, the resolutions of this House that were sent to the President of this country, even a single of them has not been taken seriously. Mr. Speaker, we resolved in this House that those young people that were affected by that demonstration in terms of killing must be compensated, Mr. Speaker. There is no police who will ever know the magnitude of their deeds if those young people are not compensated. We said in this House, Mr. Speaker, that young people who have been abducted must be trailed and must be released from those abductions, Mr. Speaker. We said in our resolution in this House, Mr. Speaker, that those people, young people who are arrested and are in courts for crimes that don't make sense must be forgiven, Mr. Speaker. We said in this House, Mr. Speaker, that police who have meted on Kenyans extrajudicial killings and did things that are wrong to Kenyans must be brought to book, Mr. Speaker. Now you come to a situation where many months later, Mr. Speaker, there is a statement that needs to go to a committee over the same actions of the same policemen, Mr. Speaker. What are we doing? Mr. Speaker, I think that that committee, the first stop that the committee must go to is to go to the resolution of this House that went to the President and make sure that every single issue that was in that resolution, Mr. Speaker, must be implemented. Mr. Speaker, I felt it very badly the other day when multimedia students went to riot. Actually, they were demonstrating, they were not rioting. And Mr. Speaker, a policeman, actually 3 of them, ganged up on this young man, beat him up, broke his legs, he could not be able to move, and they tried to drag him, to take him into the vehicle. And this young Kenyan, a student who's just expressing himself, Mr. Speaker, when he could not be able to walk with this policeman to the car, you heard a policeman saying, and I quote, "Tumpatie dawa kidogo," Mr. Speaker. And this dawa was basically taking a tear gas canister and throwing it on the face of an already beaten and battered young man on his campus, Mr. Speaker. This is an issue that, as a House, we must sit on and work on it and finish it for once and for all, and it only starts by making sure that the resolution that we made in this House is implemented to the full, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, my last comment will be on the issue of mental health, Mr. Speaker. We passed, when we were in Turkana, Mr. Speaker, I know that this year we are also going to Busia. In fact, a few weeks we'll be going to Busia on the Senate Mashinani. When we were in Turkana, Mr. Speaker, we did pass one of the most important bills on community health promoters, Mr. Speaker. But if you look at the status of some of the officers of even, who are working even in government, mental health has become a serious crisis in this country, Mr. Speaker. In Eldoret, for instance, Mr. Speaker, almost 11% of cases of suicide because of mental health is going on, Mr. Speaker. I think that in a place like Migori County, where I come from, Mr. Speaker, it will be important to expand the community health promoters network to also include some community health promoters who can be able to help our people. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mungatana.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi hii